A team that rarely come across to the UK. It's certainly quite a long transit for them. Delighted to welcome a contribution from the Royal Danish Air Force. Pleased to say they are one of the teams who can actually operate from Cosford. So just getting airborne now. This is Baby Blue.
These aircraft, 5 examples of the very useful and very sweet flying Saab T-17 supporter. As you might be able to guess from the nature of that departure, this is in effect a 4-aircraft team with a solo. They come from the Royal Danish Air Force's flying school, the Flyveskolan, based at Karup Air Base. And it's an aircraft with a very interesting history because a series of light aircraft developed in the Swedish city of Malmö with MFI designations, nothing to do with furniture, but a reference to Malmö Flygindustri, the aircraft factory that produces them. Provided a light aircraft element and a light training aircraft element to the Saab product line.
Of which, of course, we'll see more later on.
We certainly will at the end of today's programme, indeed. This aircraft was bought for a variety of roles in the Danish military, both the Army and the Air Force. The Army's aviation element has since been disbanded. Not just for basic training, but also for liaison duties, for use by airborne forward air controllers. And that's the reason for the very military-looking dark green camouflage scheme that these aircraft have worn. 200 horsepower from the Lycoming engine.
And certainly an interesting wing on this aircraft. It's kind of swept forward. You look at it and think there's something different. I can't quite work out what it is. It is the fact that for an aircraft like this, it's very unusual to have a wing that's actually swept forward. But look to your left-hand side. Here's the formation coming through for their first pass. This is the classic finger 4 formation of great tactical significance. Finger 4 is basically 2 pairs, a leader and a wingman. Largely developed during the mid-1930s. A very important tactical formation.
And there, diving in from the left, is the soloist who's going to show us, to intersperse the passers by the 4-ship, some of the aerobatic capabilities of the T-17, or the MFI-17 as it was known by its manufacturer. And it's a display that shows this aircraft to have very, very crisp handling. A really good performer. And I know the slightly different MFI-15 Safari version that the Royal Norwegian Air Force uses, very well liked by trainees from that country, and I'm sure the same is true of the T-17 of the Royal Danish Air Force.
But now if you look directly in front of you, see the team, the formation part of the team have changed formation into box. The aircraft is quite jittery, it's quite sensitive on the controls. Certainly a challenge to fly both in close formation and aerobatically.
And there's the soloist performing a variety of tactical type maneuvers with an Immelmann and a split S amongst his repertoire at this point. The solo man in the formation is First Lieutenant Robert Sørensen, and all of these pilots are instructors on the flying school. Interesting canopy arrangement on this aircraft as well. It's hinged at the rear, 2 seats side by side. And there were some concerns during development of the aircraft that what happens if the canopy flies off in flight? Does it go backwards because of being hinged at the rear and hit the tail? And they were able to dispel that during testing.
It'd certainly get very windy for a while if that happened. So here you see the formation, this time in what is known as swan formation. And as they complete this fly pass, they will again move into box formation. So the team arrived on Friday, come across in some atrocious weather. If you were, well, anywhere in the UK, let alone around this part of the UK, you know what it was like. It's a long way from Denmark in such an aircraft, not the most comfortable thing to travel in. So we're even more delighted to welcome here today.
Yes, and once again the soloist taking centre stage, showing a very good roll rate there. The aircraft was procured by Denmark during the 1970s, replacing a variety of existing types, including the Piper Cub, the de Havilland Canada Chipmunk, which we'll see later, and the Danish designed and built KZ-7.
Formation back, centre stage, once again in the finger 4 formation. Watch closely as they reach the centre for the burst. The Royal Danish Air Force was formed as a military service independent from the Army and Navy back in 1950. Aircraft currently operated include the F-16, the C-130J Hercules and the SH-60 Seahawk, along of course with the AW-101 Merlin as well. They also have 27 F-35A Lightning IIs on order. Very busy with NATO, the Royal Danish Air Force, participating in NATO operations and with other partners as well. Back in March 2011, 6 F-16s were deployed to Naval Air Station Sigonella on Sicily to assist in maintaining the no-fly zone over Libya as part of that 2011 coalition intervention in Libya. And they've also been recently involved in operations over Syria and Iraq.
Now, given the coming of the F-35 and the fact that Denmark's also got the likes of the C-130J Hercules in service, the trainer has to remain relevant. And while the T-17 has been in service since 1977, they're looking to upgrade these aircraft once again with, of course, the modern-day digital so-called glass cockpit. Now, here's a real signature manoeuvre for Baby Blue. The 4 aircraft have gone into echelon and they're about to fly what they call the waterfall. And so the call will soon come. Baby Blue 1, braking, go. 2, braking, go. Followed by 3 and 4. As Andy said, a long flight to get here. They stopped off, I believe, at Norwich Airport. And it's the first time for a number of years that we've had the pleasure of having Baby Blue in UK skies. Leading the team, Captain Rasmus Vidbjerg Hansen. Baby Blue 2, Captain Peter Raven Kvap. Number 3, Major Lars Behrens. Number 4, Major Klaus Kronborg Kaspersen. and the soloist once again, First Lieutenant Robert Sørensen. And that was the 2019 display by the Royal Danish Air Force, Baby Blue, with their 5 Saab T-17 supporters.